When you're there with a smile and a handshake, when you're there with a welcome, with a friendly person at the door, that's already preparing them for everything else that they're going to find. And when they walk out, and you're there on their way out, you're covering up the seeds as they go out the door, so that those seeds can grow. Because they were happy when they came in, because there was somebody there that gave them directions and made them feel welcome and was kind and showed them love. And then on their way out, there's that person again saying hello. Maybe, if you're not me, maybe you'll remember their name, and their name is remembered on the way out. People decide in the first 11 minutes whether or not they're going to come back. Churches all day, every Sunday, just grow seeds on a lawn. These seeds ain't going to grow. They just walk in, and they look around, they happen to find a seat, they find a place, and they're not welcome, they're not cared about, they're not loved, they're not given any direction. So, in January, we're going to talk about some of the planning work that we did all this past summer and into the fall. And there's four parts to our 5-year vision. I'm just going to read one part to you. So you're the first group over a dozen. That's heard, well, 14 actually. I think there were 14 of us, 14 to 16 that went through and developed this. But here's the first part of it. Over the next 5 years, we believe God is positioning Community Heights to engage the emerging generation by creating welcoming and captivating ministry environments and opportunities for kids and the adults in their lives, so that we could see 250 families find salvation in Jesus Christ and continue their spiritual journey at Community Heights. So, captivating, Londa's been working on this with a team of people. So when kids come in here on Wednesday night, this is the front end here. She's working on captivating in this room. Paul and Bo, they work on some of that in the auditorium. You guys are going to be the welcoming and captivating part of the lobby, where people come in and just like that, they're cared for. So you're in the front lines. We want to see 250 families over the next 5 years find salvation in Jesus Christ and continue on their spiritual journey at Community Heights. Do you think we're the kind of a church where people could see that happen in their lives? Yes or no? Do you think you're the kind of people that want to be a part of something like that? I do, or I wouldn't have come over a year ago. I felt like this church is that kind of a church that wants to be a part of reaching people for Jesus. We just got to organize ourselves and plan and prepare and have a little strategy, and then allow the Holy Spirit to use the gifts He's given us and the gifted people He's given to this church to see that happen. I am so excited. I'm excited about Joanne and Kathy being co-leaders of the guest services ministry. Give them a hand. Guest services. They're putting a team together, and they've got 10 tables of people at their first event. I think that's awesome. So I just want to open in prayer, and I'm going to hand it over to them. Before they ever hear a note strung on the guitar or a scripture read by me, they see your face, and they feel your flesh, your hand. They see your smile, and they sense your heart. That's important. That's so important. So thank you for coming today. God, thank you for these folks. I thank you, Lord, for the people in Newton who are in their homes without hope today. They didn't go to church anywhere. Thousands of them. They're without hope, they're without joy, they're without peace, they're without purpose. And God, you're calling your church in Newton to reach them. And we want to be a part of that. We want to do our part here on the hill. And our part Monday through Saturday in the community. But Lord, right now we're going to talk about when they deliver us themselves to our doorstep, how we can interact with them, how we can love them. So bless our time together, God, in Jesus' name. Amen.
Well, I want to say welcome again. This is amazing to see all of you here. I'm so thankful. First of all, I want to thank a few people. I want to thank Amber Dolezal and Teresa Warmogger and Josh and Jared and Melanie. These are some of the, am I missing anybody? And the Brown Hearts, Bob and Becky. I want to thank them for helping to put today together, not only today, but also for getting the guest services ministry up and running again and doing some training and praying as to who would be the coordinators. I have been doing it for the last many years, I think probably since Mike Ostergauer left. It just kind of fell into my lap. So I've just been limping it along. And I just felt like God was changing my heart on that. And I was fighting it. I was saying, no, I'm not going to do this, Lord. I'm not going to do this when we were talking about it. And I just felt like God was saying, yeah, you need to do this. And the reason that I'm excited about doing this now is, number one, I love this church. I was saved in this church. The people here are my family. And I want other people to feel that way about our church. I want them to know what a great group of people we have here. And so I believe that this is very important to our church. I believe that we can communicate that to other people the minute they walk in the door. And so just seeing you all in here today just certainly bless my heart. And I just want to thank you for being here. Sorry, I didn't plan on this. Anyway, the exciting part about this, first of all, I want to say thank you all who have been filling this, who have been helping out every Sunday. You have made a huge difference, and I thank you for that. Please do not feel in any way, shape, or form that you have not been a blessing to people, because you have. Thank you for welcoming people to our church every Sunday. All we're doing with this ministry is re-energizing, refocusing. We just want people to understand how much we care, not only about our church here, but about them as they're walking in the door. And so our goal is just to invite new people. And I also wanted to say there's like all ages in here. And this ministry is for all ages. It doesn't matter if you're 90 or you're 14. You can greet people walking in the door. You can make them feel welcome. You don't know how far a smile goes when somebody comes in. It makes a huge difference. So I just wanted to thank everyone who has been serving. And I also wanted to thank someone who has never been a part of this ministry, but who I think deserves a huge recognition, and that is Ron Murray. Every Sunday, Ron is greeting people. Every single Sunday. I bet you almost everyone in here when they first came to this church was met by Ron Murray. We need more Ron Murrays in this church. That's what I want this ministry to be. I want it to be a whole bunch of Ron Murrays. Maybe not the jokes, but but he gets it. He takes people and he introduces them to the pastors. He makes them feel like they count. And that's what we want people to feel when they come through these doors, like they matter, right? So we are going to, Joanne is going to, at the end of the training and stuff, she's going to talk about some of the new things and the new ways that we're going to be doing things. Let's see. That's it for now. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to show some training videos. We're going to show first 4 training videos, and they're all short videos, of how to do things. And then we're going to show 2 videos of how not to do things. All right?
Every week, people enter your church campus with expectations and apprehensions. Their experience with the people of the church will often be as informative and defining as their experience in a worship service. That means greeting visitors when they arrive to church is an important job. Doing this job well is vital to each person's delightful experience. Here are 4 tips to get you going in the right direction. First, greet everyone equally, but look for signals of those who may be visiting for the first time. Notice body language like looking for signage or walking slowly and looking around. Be able to recognize when someone looks lost or curious. Second, be helpful but not overbearing. When you identify someone new and would like to help them, do your best to provide helpful information or guide them to an information desk. However, be careful to pick up on the cues that might suggest that the visitor isn't in the mood to be helped. Don't be insistent. Third, don't be mechanical or too routine. Getting into a routine of greeting and saying the same thing to each person can make you look disingenuous. Switch up your greetings and try to be more human than robots. Fourth, be prayerful and spiritually sensitive. Not all greetings are just meant to welcome someone to a gathering. Sometimes you'll need to tend to someone who has spiritual needs that must be met, and your job will be to direct them to the right person for help. From time to time, you'll be in a position to pray for someone too. Welcoming people to church doesn't have to be a difficult job or nerve-wracking, but doing it well should be taken seriously. It's easy to show up each week as a greeter at church and forget some of the basics. It's the basics, the simple things that can make the visitors and returning members feel at home. Remember these 8 things when you suit up to greet people at church each week. Number 1, smile. You may have heard that smiling can actually make you feel happier. Sometimes, even if your morning before church was rough, the best thing you can do is just smile. Let your face tell your mind how to feel. Number 2, have fresh breath. Most people know the awkwardness of a handshake from someone with stale breath. It often sours an otherwise friendly and inviting encounter. Make sure to pop a mint in your mouth right before your shift starts for everyone's sake. Number 3, make eye contact. Drifting eyes or distracted posture can make it look like you'd rather be somewhere else. That usually makes the person you're greeting feel less important. Number 4, take initiative and greet. Don't expect people to come to you. You'll need to approach people actively in order to greet them. After all, it's your job to make them feel welcome, not vice versa. Number 5, limit your distractions. Avoid being on your cell phone or having lengthy conversations with friends. Focus on making everyone feel at home, not just those that you know. Number 6, avoid potential awkwardness. Don't ask, "Are you new?" or "Is this your first time?" Instead, say, "I don't think I've met you yet," and then introduce yourself. Number 7, be helpful. Offer a bulletin if your church uses them. If someone is new, offer to show them where the restrooms are and offer information about childcare if necessary. Number 8, enjoy yourself. People will feel more at ease and welcome if you look like you're enjoying yourself, but don't overdo it. You need to be authentic. Joining the greeter ministry at any church is a great role to meet new people, serve your church body, and give back. Doing it well isn't difficult. You can mostly get by with a great attitude and some basic knowledge of the church campus, but there are some things you should not do if you want to avoid some common mistakes. First, try to avoid getting caught in lengthy conversations. Although there are times when a conversation with a friend can't be postponed, it usually is better to save those chats for a time after you've completed your shift as a greeter. It will help you stay focused on greeting others who are visiting. Second, avoid hugging or kissing anyone who you've not already established that kind of relationship with. Many people are uncomfortable with personal touch from strangers. Initiating that kind of interaction can make for an awkward moment. Third, try to stay at your station without leaving. You've been positioned at your greeter station for a reason. Maybe it's a strategic spot for new visitors, or maybe it's a place where people need information. If you're not there, how will those people be served? Fourth, try not to leave people hanging while waiting for assistance or information. Sometimes you need to help someone, but you don't have the information or ability to help them. It's better to ask for someone to help while you maintain a conversation with the visitor than it is to leave them alone while you go on the hunt. Fifth, enthusiasm is great, but being over-enthusiastic can come across as fake or insincere. Everyone likes to see a smiling face when they enter church. Be respectful of people's personal space. Don't shout and let go of the handshake after an appropriate amount of time. No one wants an awkwardly long handshake. No one. 6, avoid interrogating newcomers at the door. It's great to get to know visitors, especially if you need to know a few things to serve them well. For example, you may need to know the ages of their children in order to point them in the right direction. But asking lots of questions or holding long conversations at the door can cause a traffic jam. Finally, don't be late. This should go without saying, but if you're late to your station, then there's a station that's unattended. That can mean your team is unstaffed or someone is forced to cover multiple stations. Usually, that means your team is less effective. Never assume that greeters are inconsequential. In fact, it's just the opposite. You are valuable to the experience of every person entering your church campus. Healthy and growing churches pay close attention to the people they count as members, as well as those people who are not yet a part of their church's community. These churches know that new people are the lifeblood of a growing church. Like a faucet, they want to keep the valve open for the flow of new people, and most importantly, they want to ensure that nothing impairs or cuts off the flow of new people to the church. With that in mind, greeters need to be aware of 5 significant facts about first-time guests looking for a church home. Number 1, the first 10 minutes are crucial. Visitors typically make up their minds regarding a new church in the first 10 minutes of their visit. Often before a first-time guest has sung an inspiring song, or watched a compelling drama, or viewed a well-produced video vignette, or heard a well-crafted sermon, they have made up their mind whether or not to return. In fact, if you ask most church leaders, far more time and energy are spent on the plan and execution of the worship service, with only minimal time spent on preparing for the greeting and welcoming of the first-time guest, which is equally, if not more, important. The church's ability to connect with first-time guests is not dependent on pastors, but on those first lines of people who represent your church. Number 2, most church members aren't friendly. Churches claim to be friendly. In fact, many churches put that expression in their logo or tagline, but my experience in visiting churches as a first-time guest proves otherwise. The truth is that most church members are friendly to the people they already know, but not to guests. A lack of friendliness before and after the service sends a mixed, if not hypocritical, message to new people. The 6 most important minutes of a church service in a visitor's eyes are the 3 minutes before the service and the 3 minutes after the service. This is when church members introduce themselves and seek to genuinely get to know the visitors and not just obtain personal information like the market research data collectors at the mall. They offer to answer any questions, and they introduce the visitors to others who may have a connection, such as living in the same neighborhood or their children attending the same school. Number 3, church guests are highly consumer-oriented. Capitalism has trained us that if we don't find what we want, someone else down the street or another website will have it. And as unfortunate as that truth is, every church greeter must be aware of it. Church greeters should look at their churches through the eyes of a first-time guest. Rick Warren says that the longer a pastor has been a pastor, the less he thinks like a non-pastor. The same thought would apply to church greeters thinking like a guest. Number 4, the church is in the hospitality business. Though our ultimate purpose is spiritual, one of our first steps in the kingdom business is attention to hospitality. Imagine the service that would be given to you in a 5-star hotel or restaurant. Should the church offer anything less to those who have made the great effort to be our guests? Hospitality is almost a forgotten virtue in our society, but it needs to be reawakened. Number 5, you only have one chance to make a good first impression. More than a truism, first impressions are lasting ones. There's little hope of correcting a bad first impression. Your first-time guests have some simple desires and basic needs. They decide very quickly if you can meet those criteria. When someone visits while you're on the job as a greeter, what can you do to help them want to come back? It all depends on the impression you're making. Make it the right one the first time.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to First Alliance Church. Is this your first time ever visiting us? We love people. We're just so glad to have you. Oh my gosh, look at this. That's so cute.
Oh, he's so cute.
Yeah, whatever.
Hi.
Oh, hi. Can you hold this for me? Thank you.
Um,
Oh, yeah, that's cute. Yeah. Good morning. Hi, can I have a bulletin? How are you today? Oh, okay. Have a nice day.
Oh, hey, welcome to church. We are so glad that you're here this morning. Is this your first time visiting with us?
Thank you. Yes.
Oh, wow, I mean, it's just so great to see you. It's
good to be here.
You know, hey, here, have one of our bulletins.
Thank you.
All right, just go right through there.
Thank you.
All right.
Hello, good morning. Hey, good morning. Welcome to the church. Very much. Is this your natural hair color? Well, how much do you weigh?
What's your pant size? Well, you know, with different brands, they're different.
Do you have any kids?
So I don't. Oh, yes, I do. Yes.
How many do you
I do.
have?
I have 3.
Who's your favorite?
What?
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Yeah, right. Here, take one. Seats are in there. Don't take that with you.
Hi. Welcome to First Alliance. Oh my goodness. Oh, are you married? Are you? Are you?
No.
Oh no! Hey Val, he's not married. Well, he's kind of a 7, but he's still really cute. Val, hey, no, come here. Look at him. Look, yeah.
Hi there.
Good morning.
And
It's
your
great to
name
see
is,
you.
let me guess, Myrtle.
It's Kristen, Pastor Larry.
Kristen.
Kristen, yeah.
And you have 4 kids, right?
2.
2, okay.
Yeah, we've been to your house for dinner.
I remember that
Yeah.
now. Well, welcome to the church this morning.
Okay.
And God bless you.
Yeah, you too. Thanks. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
So nice to meet you. What's your name?
Nathan.
Oh my gosh, you look like this guy I saw at the mall last week. Do you work at Express?
No, I don't.
Or maybe we went to high school together. Do we go to high school together?
I don't think
Class of 99. What up, Panthers? No? Okay. Hey, you know what? You should check out the new Sunday school class. It's awesome. It's here on page 2. It's real good. I mean, I know it's your first Sunday, but you're going to love it. It's amazing. Oh my gosh. You know what? The pastor is my husband,
Thank
and
you.
he is so good. No, hold on. Let me just finish telling you about what's going on next week.
I hope this is kind of giving you an idea of where we're going, what we want people to feel when they come in the door. We want to greet them with a smile. We want to make sure that we're looking for that new person walking in the door and that we're making them feel comfortable, welcome, and cared for. Yes. Our greeting ministry will be what we talked about and what the videos showed, okay? That's what your Sunday morning assignment is looking for that new person and making them feel welcome. Another thing I wanted to really stress about this is I want you to think beyond your Sunday morning if you're wandering around the church on a Sunday that you're not greeting, still keep that mindset of looking for new people and making them feel welcome. You don't have to just do it when you're at the front door or in the foyer. Another thing is when we're in the sanctuary and someone new is coming in and looking for a place to sit, don't be afraid to get up and say, hey, can I help you find something? Or, there's some seats up front here if you want to sit up front. Don't be afraid to get up and engage with somebody. Because there's nothing worse than walking into a church you don't know and just going, there's no empty seats, nobody's moving over. What am I going to do? There's something that we can do every week that we're here to make people feel welcome. I know and I'm guilty of this too, I know it's easy to come in and you see your friends or you see a small group, and you just want to connect with them and you go right to them. And that's fine. That's, we're family and we need to do that. But as part of this ministry, I just want to challenge you to just be aware. Just be aware of who's around you and introduce yourself. Don't be afraid. Like they said, you don't go up to somebody and say, hey, are you new here? You go up and say, hi, I'm Kathy, I don't think we've met yet, It's an easy way to do it, and you'll be rewarded for it. I've met a lot of really wonderful people that have come in these church doors recently.
Okay, so what do we do next? So Kathy has graciously put together a couple of sign-up sheets, and we'll lay them over here on the table. There's a sheet for the first service team and a sheet for the second service team. And one of the changes that we are asking people to implement this year is when you commit, it's a 2-hour time frame, and that does include the worship service. So if you're serving in the first service, you would come at 7:45 and serve until 9:45. And the idea is we want people here, welcoming people. Maybe they're not sure on what time church starts. We want to be sure to have people in place to greet them and welcome them warmly. Coffee shop opens at 7:45? 7:30, so the coffee will be hot and ready to go. So it means serving in your spot, so to speak, and we'll talk about spots here in a minute, before service, and then returning to that spot after the service. And that first team being here till 9:45 ensures there's people here welcoming people in case they're coming for Sunday school at 9:30. And again, they're new, they don't know where Sunday school rooms are located. There's informed people that can direct them to where they need to be, and just being around looking for some latecomers perhaps. And then the second service team would serve from 10 until noon. And so again, we're coming a little bit sooner than maybe we are now, and we're sticking around until the end. So if you're a door greeter, you'd actually stay and open the door for the folks that are leaving and tell them thanks for coming and have a great week and all that kind of thing. So that's the shifts, so to speak, and then what the positions are, just kind of adaptation of what we have currently. We'll have a greeters at the front doors like we have now. So there's 2 people at the front door and 1 at this east door here, just like we have had. So that's really not different. But then instead of having folks at the auditorium doors handing out bulletins, where they're kind of tucked back and kind of invisible maybe to new people coming in, we're going to have tables, and we have those there now. And the bulletins, for those of us who know what's going on, the bulletins are there for us to pick up. We don't need someone to hand us a bulletin. The person instead is going to be out in front of the Welcome Center, kind of seeing those new people coming in and approaching them and saying, oh, good morning, I'm Joanne. I don't believe we've met, and all that we learned here in the training. And if they maybe are looking for someone, or we want to take them and offer them a drink of coffee or water, we can take them to the Welcome Center and come back. And there's also a person inside the sanctuary, actually. So as people, maybe they walk in kind of wide-eyed, I have no idea where to sit, you're there to say, welcome, can I help you find a seat? So we'll have somebody in the sanctuary, someone out in the lobby, and then the team lead person, which we'll have a person that's kind of in charge of that team for that day. They would be a floater. So maybe a family comes in and they have young children, and they have never been here before, and they have no idea where they can take their children. We could take them literally, walk them down to the children's ministry, introduce them to the league down there, and connect them so that they feel that their children are going to be well taken care of, and it's an organized process. So again, it's just a little bit more intentional and systematic, and hopefully encourages a more positive experience. So the sign-up sheets are across the top, 1st through 5th Sundays, and then down the side, again, greeter in the lobby, greeter in the auditorium, greeters at the front door, 2 of those, a greeter at the coffee shop door, and then someone actually in the guest services area to kind of do what Pastor John was talking about, connecting people. Once the renovation is done, we'll have some tables there with information for the various ways to plug people in. So we'll start this before the first of the year, even though the renovation won't be done until after the first of the year. We want to get our teams in place after today, and we get all our slots filled. Your team lead will be in contact with you about when we're going to officially kind of kick this off for real. But today was a very important day to get everybody here and kind of on the same page, to share the vision with you of how we hope to improve an already great process. And we, again, thank you for being here. And Kathy will run and put the sign-up sheets over on the side. And we are going to stick around for any questions that you may have. But again, respecting your time. On the way out, you can sign up for a spot and know that we'll be in touch with you when we're ready to say go.